So I really wasn't expecting to even do another chapter of the series. After, like the first one I said, I kind of want to stick around, see, Kyoraku's Bankai, see what's going on, see the whole shabam go and see what's all popping in the chapters of Bleach. And I feel like, you know what, if it keeps at like this, like, pacing and all that, and has like this interesting stuff, I will keep talking about the manga. So that's one thing. So without no doubt, let's just get... So the first thing I saw in this chapter was like, oh my god, it's a Christmas fucking miracle. The main character's back in the fucking series. Like, seeing, like, Ichigo just through a couple of panels is like, oh, he's going to be fighting Askin now. Like, because Askin's there, like, I don't know why he's, like, hanging off a pole, like, I'm singing in the rain. Like, he's doing, like, this shit. It's like, really? And he's like, oh, I just, like, put Grimjow over there, that guy there. I just put him to sleep. And I'm like, oh, don't even remind me of that shit. It's like, you just, like, knocked Grimjow. I was like, come on. It's like, get the fuck out of there with that shit. So that's interesting to see that Askin's going to be fighting Ichigo if that's the case, because their fight kind of got stopped because everyone knows Kyoraku's like Bankai just activated. It's just like, no, everyone didn't say, oh, it's gotten darker and colder. It's like the temperature or anything hasn't changed or anything. It didn't get darker. It's just like getting the chills. It's just like everyone's like stealing his like Ryatsu, and it's just like it's actually putting fear into people. It's actually generally scaring everyone, and it's like, and people are on like, it's like we can see what, like, we can see X-axis is like, what's going on here? Like, why is it getting darker? Is this an illusion? And you can see Kyoraku there, and he's like, oh yeah, this, by the way, this is like the Bankai. Can you give me some feedback on it? It's like, what does the world look to you right now? And it's just like, it's dark and lonely and perhaps slightly bleak, and it's like, oh, so this is your power, right? He's like saying that, it's darker, but I wouldn't go say it's bleak, and it's just like, yeah, a messenger of God does not fall into despair. He just like blows a giant chunk out of the fucking whole place, and it's just like, yeah, I don't have the information, but I'm just gonna, like, there's one thing I know, it's like the wielder of the sword that perishes, like, and so will the Bankai, and it's just like, as he does that, he just gets this giant... Yeah, I have levels to this Bankai. Like, the first level is the world sharing hesitation. The wounds that the enemy gains will appear on my own body as if they were shared. Like, that's the first one. It's like, and sadly, it's not something you could die from. So, pretty much any wound that Kyoraku's had throughout this entire fight and all that and all the battle, that's what he got as well throughout this. So now they're sharing the same amount of pain. And this probably goes into the suicide thing, is that both of them are going to be feeling the exact same pain, I imagine. This is like the whole thing about the whole Bankai, when he uses it. The second level, which is the Pillow of Shame, and this is the one that I'm kind of the most unsure of, is that he tells the tale of the man that, who has regret after wounding himself in a battle, and basically he kind of transforms into an incurable disease. And then the third one, which is the Lifeless Abyss, which is where it gets a little bit interesting. For that resolved, it's like, it gets now you and me are underwater until either one of our Ryatsus run out. So I'm kind of curious about it. Do they share this? Because apparently from the third one, it's like, it's basically whoever's Ryatsu runs out first, basically, is the winner of this match. The second one, it doesn't seem like Kyoraku got the disease at all from it. So it seems like, because the whole thing is being called, like, fear to suicide, and it's like the whole thing is like people saying like, oh, it's a Bankai that makes you commit suicide, and it's like, but you also have to share it. So I'm kind of wondering if that is the case, if it's a Bankai that makes you want to end your life. I feel like that's a pretty fearsome power. So if it has to do with the user as well, has to feel like that could be interesting. But then it makes me wonder, especially, like, why, if this is going to kill him or anything, why did he actually step up and say, I'm going to take on X-axis? Why don't I use this thing against, your watch or something like that? Why didn't I, like, even still, like, the whole thing about eyes, and they're saying, oh, you don't want to use your, like, Bankai in front of people, I still think that's bullshit. You want to probably use this stuff on Aizen. This would have stuff that, like, even stopped him, like, at some point. Like, I don't think Aizen himself could have even possibly, like, he could probably cancel out the man, but I think, like, if he was in his early forms and all that, before he got really merged in with the Hogyoku into, like, the Chrysalis level, I think this could have ended Aizen. I honestly think that is the case that I was going to go. So I'm kind of curious, like, what exactly is going to happen in this one. I mean, I'm going to keep talking about it until, I guess, later on. It's like, honestly, it was a good chapter. I think it was a really decent one for what it was. I'd give it, like, for what it was, like, it's very interesting to see his Bankai and everything. It's like, very curious to see more about. There's a lot of questions to be added in later into this stuff, so I'm really curious about like what, if there's more levels of this, or is this like the last stage of the Bankai, like the last of the abyss, you know, and seeing the pillow of shame and like all this stuff. So I'm kind of curious more about kind of the rules of the Bankai and exactly what. But that's kind of messed up if this is a Bankai that makes you want to commit suicide. If you've got wounds, if you've got an incurable disease and you're drowning, it can definitely show like this is the sort of the Bankai that makes you want to commit suicide. So overall, it was a definitely good chapter. I definitely give this one an 8 to an 8.5. Like, I thought it was a decent chapter. Like, for this one, it was a really good one. I cannot wait to see what the next chapter is. And, you know, if this is the thing, if the pacing and the actual stuff gets interesting like this, I will continue talking about it. But like I said, yeah, that's pretty much my whole thoughts on the chapter. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about this chapter. But that's all from me. So thank you so much for watching as always. And I will see you guys next time.